We're in Delmont, Pennsylvania for the season finale of the AMA National Championship Motocross Series here on Cycle World. These are highlights from 125cc action that took place earlier today. The gate is about to drop on Moto number 1. A pair of contenders will decide the title. Jeff Emig, the defending champ, trails by 11 points. Doug Henry, who is the series points leader. Those two riders will get away pretty close to the head of the pack. We're going to show you what happens at the rear of the pack. Rider number 43, Ezra Lust, the most notable rider among the three that are on the ground. And Jim, it's got to be tough starting way back there.
Guaranteed it started. Damon Huffman was the other rider, and Ryan Hughes. They got a lot of guys that got to work up and pass. They're going to finish up in this race.
Well, I think probably passing all of those guys is out of the question at this particular time. Meanwhile, out front, Todd DeHoop, a privateer, holds down the number 1 position. Robbie Raynard was following him, then Brian Schwink, Jeff Emig, and Doug Henry. So the two contenders are fairly close to the front of the pack. They will decide the championship between them. There's Emig and rider number 16 being Doug Henry. Henry, I have to think, with an 11-point margin, is content right now to watch the guy that is trying to take that championship away from him.
Yeah, exactly. That's where he wants to be. He just wants to follow right behind Emig and let Emig work up through the pack and take the chances. He's just going to sit back and kind of watch things and see what develops here up front.
Yeah, really, with the points lead that he has, it makes no difference if he wins, loses, or whatever. He just needs to keep his eye on Jeff Emig and control the race from that standpoint.
Well, he's so close right now, I know he knows what kind of stickers are on the back of his fender, but he's going for the pass here.
He is. No sooner do we say that. Actually, that's what we talk about when we say this is what a rider should do. But instead, Henry's going to throw caution to the wind. He makes the pass, and he takes the spot away from Jeff Emig, and I must say it's a rather surprising situation. Meanwhile, Robbie Raynard is really letting it hang out. Now, Raynard wants a win before the season is over. That's what is on his mind. He's moved up to the number 2 position, right behind Todd DeHoop, and he's putting the pressure on.
Well, he finished 3rd in the second moto of Binghamton, New York, so he knows he's got the pace and he knows he has the stamina to win. I think he wants to try to go out and win this one.
Well, I think, Jim, there are 4 riders that have every intention of winning this moto. Now, watch Todd DeHoop. He'll bobble. Raynard had a chance to make the pass, but he bobbled all by himself. Now, I think inexperience probably coming into play there. But while those two are fighting, look what happens. Here comes Doug Henry and Jeff Emig. Now, they have moved up to get themselves caught up in this battle for the number 1 spot.
Todd DeHoop, Robbie Raynard, they couldn't care less what's going on behind them there in the championship battle. You know, I'm surprised, Larry, at the 2 championship contenders here running up front, battling handlebar to handlebar with these guys. They're taking a lot of big chances out there.
Well, they are. Jeff Emig, though, needs to take the chances. Jeff Emig needs the points to catch Doug Henry. The guy that surprises me is Doug Henry. He's the guy that's really mixing it up. He's taken over the number 2 position. Emig now has worked his way into the number 3 spot. He goes by the motorcycle of Doug Henry. He takes over the number 2 slot. But Henry is going to come right back and try to repass, and that's where the surprise is to me. I would think that Henry is the guy to lose in this whole thing, and that he would be content to let the other 3 go, and he thereby would just collect the points back in 3rd and 4th.
Well, Henry's riding like he was 11 points behind rather than 11 points ahead at this point, Larry.
Indeed he is, and that's the point that I was trying to make there. He's the guy that has the most to lose. Jeff Emig, on the other hand, has to go up and make the pass. He has to pass Todd DeHoop to take over the number 1 spot, and he did just that. He put his motorcycle ahead of Henry. Then when DeHoop made the error, he took over the lead, leaving Henry now back in the number 3 slot with Robbie Raynard holding down 4th place. But watch Henry. He comes right around the outside. That was a good move. It was a safe move and a sane move. He comes around to the outside and made the pass on Todd DeHoop, and now he again is in control of the race. I shouldn't say in control of the race. I should say in control of the championship point standings. He's where he needs to be. Now, for the next several laps, it appeared that he was content holding that number 2 position. However, late in the moto, a pair of riders were way out front of the rest of the field. Watch what happens. It may have been a loss of concentration, or possibly he was trying to catch Jeff Emig one more time. We'll never know, because certainly Henry is not going to fess up to a mistake of that magnitude, and he's not going to tell us just why he did go down. However, it could have cost him the race, Jeff.
The race was already won, Larry, by Emig. The championship is the main factor here. He could have lost the championship right here. He could have busted his arm. He could have busted his bike. Fortunately, he got back up to himself.
So the question was, as Doug Henry picked himself up off the ground and Jeff Emig took the checkered flag, although he finished second, would he be fit to come back in Moto number 2? And speaking of Moto number 2, you will not believe the drama that is about to unfold. Here are the results now of Moto 1. Emig, Henry, Swink, McGrath jumping ahead to Moto number 2. An unbelievable turn of events. Turned this championship upside down, then turned it back right side up. We'll have all of that action for you when we come back on Cycle World. Stay with us. Welcome back to Cycle World. You're watching AMA National Championship Motocross. It's the season finale from Delmont, Pennsylvania. In the last segment, we watched the first moto in the 125cc class. Now the gate is about to drop on the second moto. This is action that took place earlier today. We're going to bring you the highlights of the moto. Just tell you that we ended that first segment with Doug Henry crashing, and we wondered, would he be able to come back in moto number 2, or would injuries maybe slow him down? Key here is Doug Henry had an 8-point lead over Jeff Emig going into this moto. As the moto unfurled, we found neither one of the two riders up front. Instead, it was Robbie Raynard holding down the number 1 spot. He was being chased by Ezra Lust, rider number 43. Damon Bradshaw was in there. A lot of riders, but no Doug Henry, no Jeff Emig. To the amazement of the spectators and the pit crews, those two riders are at the back of the pack. In just a second, we'll show you how they got there. Meanwhile, attention is on Robbie Raynard. He's looking for his first ever national win. Let's go back to the start. First, Jeff Emig. There he is. You see how far back he is?
Well, if you think he's that far back, look at Doug Henry. There he is. He's even farther back. He got stuck in the gate. He's got 39 guys to pass. He's got a dusty track to work with. And he's got a championship on the line. It's going to be interesting.
At this point in time, the two riders are within sight of each other. If Emig looks over his shoulder, he'll see Henry. If Henry looks ahead, he'll see Jeff Emig. What happened was after they rounded the first corner, Emig crashed. He was quickly up, but that took the advantage that he had gained by Henry getting caught in the gate. It took that advantage and just threw it out the window, so all things went back to being equal. Now, before the moto was over, Henry and Emig would get into it a couple of times. They would change their positions back and forth. The surprising thing to me was, once that Doug Henry caught Jeff Emig, he didn't stay behind him. He had an 8-point cushion to work with, and the back of the pack. Why didn't he stay there? I can understand the pass on Scott Sheet, but he's coming up on Jeff Emig, and he's going to take the position away from Emig. Why, Jim Holly, didn't he hold on to his spot and let Emig go?
That's a good question, Larry. I would have just stayed back there and, like I said, read the rear fender of Jeff Emig. I don't know why he's pushing so hard. Maybe he wants to go out and say that, you know, I am the champion and I want to win.
Well, obviously an injury from the first moto crash was not a factor. He's performing very, very well. However, he is risking a second moto crash. And this is the thing that really amazes me. I guess it goes back to a racer is a racer is a racer. They can't stand to have someone ahead of them. They just want to make the pass.
Well, that, and also that these guys have been head-to-head. This is a 12-race series. It's the last race. They've battled back and forth the whole series, and I think that Henry wants to say, I'm the better man. I won the day, and I also won the championship.
Well, I guess in theory, that's the way to do it. But I'll tell you what, in practice, it works out better when you accept the checkered flag in the championship without taking the chances, and that's what Robbie Raynard did in Moto number 2. He's going to be the overall winner today, and here they come down to the line. It's going to be Doug Henry taking the measure of Jeff Emig. The championship is over. There were no last lap heroics. Jeff Emig knew that all was lost with several laps to go in that win. So Doug Henry has been crowned, or is currently being crowned, the 1993 125 champ. Jeff Emig pulls in, and the gentleman that he is offers his congratulations. There are the final standings. Henry, Emig, McGrath, Ward. Let's go to our newly crowned champ.